Thank you. I'm going to save my Alzheimer's question. I think Senator Collins and I have like opinions on that, and very much want to see the innovation in detection, diagnosis, and treatment move forward, and hope that as you're setting the priorities and we set them with you, you know that this is a top priority for many of us who are here, and me in particular. I want to ask about the IDEA program. You mentioned about geographic diversity of research. And we know, and I think the statistics bear out that only a certain amount of states are getting enormous amounts of funding for research and NIH. And some of the middle states, and I'm in the middle state, those of us have difficulty securing research grants and moving forward with it. And that's where the IDEA program really helps. How do you see that when you're looking at the larger picture of priorities? Where do you see the value in that, and how do you think we can make sure that those developmental awards are not just still granted but also increased?
Right. So the IDEAS program is a tremendously important part of how we support research in states and universities that don't traditionally get a lot of NIH money. I was looking up the numbers. I think it's like $440 million in fiscal year 24, which is really a small fraction of the NIH funding. I think from a point of view of science policy, it's absolutely vital that the NIH investments are geographically dispersed. And the main reason for that is the way we combat scientific groupthink is by empowering researchers across the country, no matter where they are, to have a great opportunity, if they have great ideas, for NIH funding. And the IDEAS program really makes that happen. In my mind, it's less funded than it ought to be, and I actively would love to work with Congress to think of ways so that we can make the NIH investment in scientific research more geographically dispersed than it currently is. It's very concentrated now with I think 20 universities getting about 65% of the money from NIH. The system is set up almost to guarantee that happens.
That continues, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I look forward to working with you on that. Since we're talking about the different geographies, I have learned in the course that if you have a designated cancer center or a cancer National Cancer Institute in and around where you live, your ability to access treatments, your success rate, your early interventions are so much better. And some states are called emerging cancer institutes. One of those happens to be mine. So there are 14 states that don't have an NCI-designated cancer center. I guess my question is, since a lot of it is rural, and there's a huge monetary commitment too for the universities or the state to be able to create a cancer institute, but this is something that I think is amazingly important to rural parts of this country. How would you close that gap for the underrepresentation in the cancer institutes?
It's very, very important that we expand the NCI's investment in states. It should be national. It should be everywhere, right? I think and it's really important that we collaborate with universities everywhere to make that happen. And that's a major priority of mine. We have, as you say, Senator, it's there's lots of scientific reasons. Like we want to make sure that the cancer trials that we do represent the entirety of the American population, the investments that we make in advancing cancer can't happen without our cooperation with an identification of patients in places we don't traditionally go. I think the NCI has done a really good job in the states that it's in, but we need to do better in expanding expanding these national cancer centers to other states where we haven't been is a major priority of mine.
Thank you. Another priority on my last few seconds that I have is the research, the funded research that's actually occurred under the opioid and addiction research. I mean, this is a growing issue. The statistics have come down, but I don't think we should be taking that as a sign that this is not still a tremendous problem across the country. And Dr. Rezai in our state is using a low-intensity focus ultrasound to restructure the way that the brain reacts to certain stimuli. And so how does your budget prioritize continue to invest in addiction treatment.
I mean, Senator, as you know, that the statistics are heartbreaking. Like ever since the pandemic, I think the pandemic fueled a rise in drug overdose deaths, with almost 100,000 Americans a year dying. And last year there was some reduction down to 80,000, but nowhere near pre-pandemic levels. The NIH research has funded big advances. For instance, naloxone, which is used to reverse opioid overdoses, is in part due to NIH research. I think we have a long way to go. It's absolutely vital that we make investments to address this problem that affects the lives of so many Americans and their families. Medical research is going to be a tremendously important part of the solution going forward, and we still need more advances. How do we prevent it? It may, medicine may play an important role in that. And as well as advances in our understanding of the behavioral circumstances that lead to addiction, and much else. So absolutely, I'm committed to that.
Thank you. Thank you.